guess what showed up? It's been about 2.5, maybe even 3 weeks since I ordered it, and it showed up. Now a lot of you guys said, why didn't I put an old one in there? I didn't want to put an old one in there because I don't want this thing to have a lot of vacuum leaks. If I'm spending this amount of time, I definitely don't want to put old parts into it. So the original plan was to put this in the car that's going to the team show. With the coronavirus and everything, the team show, I don't know if it's going to happen. Still building for it, don't worry about it. If the team show is still a go, the car is going to go. We'll have to wait and see. It's turned into a huge thing, but that's enough talk about that. We have the intake. The intake gasket. I've taken the intake and I've cleaned it all up. It's covered in gasoline. It smells fantastic. We have here our harness. I've left it outside. It's been raining for like 2 days, so it's covered in rainwater. And we're going to start throwing this in there. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually just connect all the injectors. I could do this afterwards, but doing it before makes it definitely a lot easier. Once I have them in there, I'm going to put all this up on top. Now my goal for this is to actually have this motor running out of the car. And I was going to put it in this car. You guys probably haven't seen any information about this car yet. Don't worry, it's coming. Shush. But I've designed to do, instead of putting it into this car, I've actually ordered a whole bunch of custom pieces. And we'll see if I can maybe do some entertaining stuff. So I'm just going to put the gasket on. Now, because it's been so long, I'm going to have to find all my hardware and all my tools again to bolt this stuff on. We're going to get it bolted on. I'd really like this thing to be running today, so it's going to be a lot of work. Let's get going at this. I'll be right back. Intake will be on when you come back. I'll have most of the electrical plugged in, like that one, and a lot more other electrical as well. So give me about 20 minutes, and I'll see you guys right back here. So we've done a lot of things, and pretty much we're at the point right now I do not have fuel hooked up. But what I want to see is if I have spark and if I have oil pressure. So spark is just going to be as simple as turning this thing over. So, you guys ready to see if she's got spark? Let's just do this a little bit differently. I've never had one of these motors running on the ground, mostly because I've never really had the need to. So I guess the first thing is to see if it turns over. Okay, there, it turns over. Let's wire the computer in now just by touching this off positive. Oh, oops, grounding out there, don't like that. Okay, let's see if I have spark. I'm gonna watch the spark plug. Okay, so I have spark. Oh, we have an issue right here with transmission. I'm going to let it make a mess because I know this transmission is garbage. So the next thing I've done is I've actually removed the oil pressure sensor, which is right here on the front of the block. Now I'm going to turn it over until I see oil coming out of that, just to make sure it has oil pressure. That shouldn't take that long. I have the computer turned off. I still do not have fuel put to it yet, so it should not start no matter what. Let's see if we have oil pressure. Oh, I took the ground off, sorry. Not really seeing any oil pressure yet. Maybe it just hasn't picked it up yet. starting to come out, so that's good enough for me. So we have oil pressure, we have spark. Next thing is let's put fuel to this thing and see if we can fire this thing up. So we've got quite a bit of things done. Just don't want this harness to be completely eaten up by the crank. So I have a fuel tank hooked up. I'm going to put fuel pressure to it very shortly. I have the oil pressure, I put the valve cover on, I got spark, I got the computer. I have to put power to the computer, which is this wire. And as soon as I get it running, or as soon as it starts to run, I'm going to put negative to the fuel pump. That way it doesn't over-pressurize. You ready to see if this thing runs? It'd be nice to see if it runs after the head work we did. Oh, that came through the intake. Oh. I think it needs fuel now. Put some fuel. Okay, you ready? Those fittings in the transmission didn't do jack shit. Holy! So guess what? She runs. I've unhooked the gas tank, I've unhooked the battery, I've unhooked everything. It runs really, really good. Mint! But what we're going to do now is we're just going to push it off to the side, and I have a couple surprises waiting for this motor. It might be a little bit ways away because the parts are being custom ordered, custom made, one-off pieces as of right now. But if the pieces come in, this aluminum piece is going to have to come off and a different piece is going to have to go on. Guys, stay tuned. I got big plans for this motor now that it runs, and it actually runs very well. We're going to be doing a little bit more screwing around with it. We're going to be changing some things out, and we're going to be trying some things I haven't tried before. And don't worry, it will go inside of a derby car. It will go inside of a derby car, but it runs. I got all the pieces in the mail. I'm happy. This is the first time I've ever had a motor running out of a car yet, but the transmission still leaks fluid everywhere. And I even put a fitting into it, so it's crappy. But thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow on Zach's Workshop, and I'm just happy this thing runs.
Wreck it.